And we're back. Yeah, I was quite enjoying my chat with Zarina, but unfortunately we had to say goodbye. But now I'm going to be introducing Sabeehah Nanabhay Hoosen. Sabeehah is a multifaceted wellness expert dedicated to empowering individuals to unlock their full potential. As an educator and kinesiologist, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Sabeehah has always been passionate about understanding the intricate relationships between physical, mental, and emotional well being. Assalamu alaikum, Sabiha, and welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Okay, so I hope I got the pronunciation of kinesiology. Am I
Yes, you
correct in
said
saying so?
kinesiologist.
Can you
Yes.
elaborate what that is?
Okay, so basically, kinesiology is a modality that
Mm-hmm.
taps into the body's nervous system in order to understand the core reasons behind any physical symptoms that one might experience, whether it be because of trauma, whether it be because of a poor lymphatic system, or whether it be because of a neurovascular issue, meaning your brain can't, shut down. We, as kinesiologists, we then tap into the nervous system and we go and try and fix or correct the issue at hand that then allows you to have perfect well-being, inshallah.
I mean, what inspired you to pursue this path?
Actually, I visited a kinesiologist for the first time when I was in Matric, which was a very, very long time ago. And then I knew, okay, this is what I want to do. But at that time, my parents were like, no, we don't know what this is. This sounds very weird. You're not going to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I went on to studying teaching and I got my degree and I went and I taught overseas. And when I came back, I thought, you know what, this is what I'm supposed to do. I met with a kinesiologist here in South Africa who worked on me and who worked with children that I taught. And it was amazing to see the impact that kinesiology had on these children. So, for example, I had a little boy in grade 8 who was diagnosed with chronic anxiety, and he was put on heavy medication, and this child was literally like a corpse in the classroom. But with doing kinesiology for 6 months and going onto natural forms of supplementation, the child completely went off his medication and now he's in varsity thriving. So it was such an amazing opportunity to watch what kinesiology does to children, not just to children, to parents, to people. It's amazing to see how kinesiology can actually go and reverse trauma that a child had in the mother's womb. So, say for example, if the mother was stressed out during her pregnancy, the child actually then carries the emotions that the mother was experiencing,
Mm.
and then a kinesiologist can actually go and tap into the child's nervous system to then actually release that sort of trauma and emotions that are stored in the child's body.
Oh, wow. I know you also have there on your bio that you're a Tayyib enthusiast. How do you combine the two?
So, um, I believe that we are what we eat. And if you think about the word tayyib, it means pure. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, food is the most amazing part of our being. I mean, people, we love food. If you think about it, it's Allah's tool that He's given us in order to nourish ourselves. So we've got to be very mindful on how we use this tool, especially now in Ramadan, for example, the foods that we eat at suhoor and iftar will determine the level of concentration, the level of energy, the level or the ability for us to connect spiritually in our ibadah as well. I did a course with an imam from Cape Town called Stepping into the Heart of Salah. And on the first lecture that I went to, it was about food and what we eat and how it impacts how the ability for us to actually connect spiritually in our salah. So how I combine the two is, with kinesiology and using food in order to support the body and nourish the body, it really does give us a platform to have a good triad of health. At the end of the day, we know Islam is a way of life. We focus on body, mind, and soul. And that is our deen. If you think about how we look back into the prophetic lifestyle and the prophetic diet, for example, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ate foods that were not hard on his system. He ate meat, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about it, food is so, so important, especially tayyib food. Food can be categorized into three different groups, which are biogenetic, biostatic, and bioacidic. And if you look at biogenic food is food that gives energy, gives you a life source. And if you go and compare all the prophetic foods or all the foods listed under prophetic diet or Tayyib diet, you'll see that most of them belong to this group of biogenic food. Whereas biostatic food is food that doesn't really do anything for you, but then bioacidic food actually comes and takes away from your energy source. It takes away from your life source. So that's why, for example, in Ramadan, having one or two samosas is fine, and make the dua, oh Allah, please grant me the benefit of it and keep me away from the evil of it. But then having 10 of those is not going to let you really concentrate very well in your salah. It's not going to let you be able to, you're going to feel sluggish, you're going to feel tired. You're not going to actually enjoy the experience of having tarawih, of reading tarawih, for example. But having foods that are, easy on the body, your fruit, your yogurt, barley, wholesome food in moderation. Your intention shouldn't be to eat for your tummy. Your intention should be to nourish your body so that you can pray, so that you can have ibadah, so that you can do ibadah. For example, we know that as Muslims, we are judged solely on intention. So, being mindful as well and having or making intentions before we eat is so important. When we eat, yes, we say Bismillah wa ala barakatillah, we're asking Allah for that barakah, but add to it, say, oh Allah, I'm eating this food with the intention of nourishing my body so that I may worship you, so that I may carry out the responsibilities that you've set out for me, that I need to fulfill. Intention is so, so important. I'll give you an example. I visited my kinesiologist recently and I suffer with low iron. And, I'm taking my supplements, but nothing is helping. And she's taking and she's like, what's going on? And she checked, she's like, okay, are you taking the right supplement? Yes. And my body is saying, yes, I'm taking the right supplement. But it went down to how I was actually executing it, how I was taking it. So every time I remember to actually go and take a spot, or not just like open it and take it and, carry on with life. And that was why my body was not absorbing it. I had to sit with it. I had to say, oh, Allah, I'm taking this with the intention of benefiting myself. So yes, taking the supplements and yes, eating, it's good, but we need to be so mindful and be so conscious of the intentions we set when we're actually eating and when we're actually taking these supplements.
Oh, wow, that is amazing. So I read somewhere that if you're eating chicken, too much chicken, it causes anger. How true is that?
So if you're B positive or if you're B black group, yes, because chicken is very hot. And generally people with B positive or B black group types don't really do well with chicken. Their liver can't really process it very well. But again, in Islam, everything in moderation. So if you're gonna have, if you're B positive or B negative blood type and you're gonna have chicken every day, you might have a problem. But I mean, if you have it once a week, make the intention, oh Allah, I ask you for the good of this and keep me away from the evil of it. And Allah is great. Allah answers our du'as. We know He's Mujib, He answers. So make your intentions when you eat. We are food. We are what we eat. Food is life. It is Allah's tool, or the tool Allah has given us again to nourish ourselves. So be mindful, be purposeful with what you put into your body. Know that what you put into your body is a form of ibadah as well, because it will help you to connect in your salah. It will help you to connect spiritually as well. We know that the gut is linked to the mind, and if you have a healthy gut, you have a healthy mind. So again, we know that the hadith says, every illness starts in the gut. So be mindful, be purposeful, be intentional when you eat.
Subhanallah. Wow, that's amazing. So I'm going to ask, I've got a question here coming in. Okay. But before I get there, I think I need to go test my teenager and see if which bee is he falling in. So I know not to feed him too much chicken, like Zarina was talking about earlier. Are there any misconceptions about kinesiology, and what do you often encounter with regards to that?
So yes, kinesiology, I think from an Islamic point of view, many people are hesitant. The way it was explained to me was that by my kinesiologist, and this was a good 20 years ago, she said to me, on the day of Qiyamah, that our bodies are going to speak. And right now, our bodies are speaking, and it's just kinesiology is a tool for us to actually listen to what our body is saying. So it's
Wow.
like a form of body talk, but it's like body talk on steroids because kinesiology focuses solely on what you need as an individual. And then it also gives us ways in which to correct what is going on your body. So, for example, if it's emotions that are stuck there, for example, we take the liver, for example, the liver is the seat of anger, right? And using kinesiology as a modality, we can then actually go into the liver and physically release stored emotions that are stuck on that meridian. It really is, the things I've seen with it, the amazing work that kinesiology is, and the difference that it's made in people's lives is amazing. As a Muslim therapist, they say in kinesiology the rule is 36 seconds, and you need 36 seconds in order for a reaction to take place. So what we as Muslim kinesiologists do is we read Surah Fatiha. If you read Surah Fatiha at a reasonable pace, it falls in that 36 seconds. So every single balance that we do, every single correction that we do, we are constantly reciting Surah Fatiha. And we know that Surah Fatiha is ruqya, it is the
Yeah.
best form of ruqya, it's the best form of medicine. So we are constantly reciting, we are constantly asking Allah for guidance, we are constantly reading so that the person can actually feel a sense of calm and contentment. I've had clients come to me that were struggling with sleep, and Alhamdulillah, we cleared something that was stuck there for many years, and Alhamdulillah, she sleeps now. We've had clients, who've done fertility treatments and all of those things, and it just wasn't happening, and it happened to be an emotional blockage, and Alhamdulillah, they're having a baby now. It's just an amazing modality, and if you think about it, I traveled to Spain a few years ago, and the tour guide there actually said, all of these things were in the Islamic libraries many, many years ago. But the Crusaders went and they took all the knowledge and all the documentations and they burnt it. And they reintroduced certain principles and certain modalities and certain healing principles in the form as like Western,
Listen.
they reintroduced it into society. But in actual fact, if you go into southern Spain, into Andalusia, they will explain to you that these sort of alternative healing modalities were found in the libraries there, the libraries that were run by the Muslim people of that time.
Wow, that's amazing. You see, so it's really fascinating for me because I want to. My question again is like, what is it? How do you move? How do you move everything out? Is it a form of movement that you're giving the body to move, or is it a form of massage? How do you move?
It's a form of massage. So
Mm-hmm.
generally, it's a form of stimulating certain points or temporal tapping. It's solely it's solely dependent on you. It's what your body asks for. So there's many different corrections out there. Okay, there's many
Mm-hmm.
different corrections out there. We use sound as a form of correction. We can use color as a form of correction. It just comes up what is suited for you at that point in time. For example, I attended a class on Sunday, and we had to practice the sound balance. And the emotion that came up for me, there was grief. Grief was stuck in my body. So I lost my mom a few years ago, and it takes some time to process. And
Mm-hmm.
the correction that came up for me was sound, and I had to sing. And my lecturer looked at me and she's like, "I don't understand how singing actually works with grief. Like it doesn't make
Mm.
sense." But my mom was a preschool teacher, and I remember her singing nursery rhymes like all the time. And so that's how it was solely based on what my body knew. And that's how my body then corrected the emotion grief. It was amazing. My whole group, we sang Baba Black Sheep together. And when they tested my muscle again to see if the emotion is still stuck there, the emotion was gone. So
Wow.
literally, kinesiology is not you come to me, you give me your symptoms, and I write you a script and you go. No, it's
Yeah.
literally tailored for your body and what your body needs. I mean, my lecturer she's doing this for 27 years. She couldn't relate grief to singing, but my
Mhm.
body could, and it made the connection.
Oh, wow, that is really, really amazing. I think I need to book a session with you.
Please
Wow.
do.
Okay. How can I definitely will. I've got another question coming in. How can individuals maintain physical well-being during Ramadan, especially with fasting hours and potential change in routine?
Okay, so
Yeah.
you know, me personally, I find it difficult to stick to a exercise regime.
Mm,
The trick here, guys, is to do lymphatic drainage for yourself. If you're in the shower, please go and look online for a quick
mm,
lymphatic drainage massage. It basically you need to stimulate certain points in your body to get your lymph flowing, and that alone is like a 10-minute workout. You're gonna take 2 minutes or 3 minutes to actually just stimulate points in your body, get your lymph flowing, and that should actually help with keeping your body detoxing and actually keeping it in a good physical state as well. But
wow.
also, if you can
Mm.
take a walk, take a 5 minute walk if you can fit it in. I know I'm a mom. I struggle when the people leave for Tarawih. It's clearing up. It's putting kids to bed. So quickly, I just do my lymphatic drainage and I'm good to go.
Okay, so I've been told also that the lymph to do drain your lymphs, you need to pat yourself here 10 times. Is that for real?
Yes, so you've got
Okay.
many different lymphatic drainage points, but the most important ones is the ones here by your clavicle, underneath your arm, just
Mm.
above your belly button. So that's where your lymphatic drainage for your kidneys are, your groin area, and then behind your knees.
Knees. Okay. Okay, I've heard that. Okay, I've been doing that. And yeah, I see Pooty, my producer's doing the same thing. So we need to tap us 10 times to get some release. Alhamdulillah, we'll keep
Yes.
that in mind. What advice do you have for staying active while fasting? And how can people integrate movement into their daily workout?
So, especially with fasting, like I said, if you are great at keeping a routine and going to the gym even while you're fasting, alhamdulillah.
Mm,
But I think Allah was so intentional in His commandments during the month of Ramadan. If you think about, your salah postures, for example, and reading Taraweeh, and we know that, every salah posture has a positive effect on the body as well. Again, bringing the triad of health, mind, body, and soul, Islam being a way of life. So reading your Taraweeh with intention and then stretching yourself afterwards, should be a good way just to keep healthy and keep fit. Doing gentle stretches as well. You don't need to do hectic working out during Ramadan, especially because your body is busy detoxing. You want to make sure you give it the most minimal stress as possible. So gentle stretches. What you can do as well is if you've got a rebounder at home, great, jump for a minute. If you don't have a rebounder, just jump for a minute or jump 100 jumps and you're good to go. Again, stimulating the lymph. So the most important thing in Ramadan is to make sure that we've got constant stimulation of lymph so that we can actually drain the toxins that are busy being detoxed from our bodies.
wow, that is so amazing. In like, I've got no questions for you because it's all just coming. And okay, now the question comes in. I don't have the questions. The questions are coming in. In your experience as a kinesiologist, how does Ramadan impact your body? I think you did touch on this, but I think maybe just reiterate on that. Body physically, and what do you ensure? How do you ensure a balanced and healthy approach throughout the month, aside from the lymph drainage that you just touched
Okay.
on?
Again,
Mm,
again, being mindful about what you eat. I'll give you an example.
mm,
So when we break fast, my husband generally likes to have a bowl of fruit and yogurt, and we good to go. And now I've got my dad and my brother with me, and my brother he needs to have his samosas. And so, I was breaking my fast and I was having the samosas as well. And then I realized, wait a minute, like I don't have the energy for Tarawih like I usually do. And my husband and I were just speaking about it last night. And again, we reiterated the fact that we need to be mindful of what we eat. So, honestly speaking, being mindful of what you eat solves like 90% of the problems. Being intentional of what you eat, making sure you hydrate well, make sure you have an electrolyte, for example. So have Revite. The Revite at Clicks or somewhere, it's really nice because it's got a green tea extract in it as well. So that just gives you some sort of energy as well. Make sure you rehydrate. Make sure you have your fruit so that you have fiber in your body. Eat food that is going to be easy on your system. So, and then again, make the intention, oh Allah, I'm nourishing my body so that I can be healthy and energetic, so that I can fulfill my responsibilities, so that I can pray well. Um, Food is so important. Food is so important. What we put into our bodies is so, so, so important. And then also, if you do have the samosa or if you do have the pie, don't have it and then be like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm putting, this bad
Mm,
thing into my diet or into my body, because the food that we eat and then the emotion that we have with it also determines how it's going to affect our system. So if you have the samosa, if you have the pie, if you have the dessert, say, oh Allah, grant me the goodness of it and then keep me away from the evil of it. And just have it and enjoy it. Don't
mm.
put negative
Live.
emotions towards your food, because that alone also determines how our bodies receive and react to the food that we eat.
Oh, wow. It's amazing that how mindful we need to be. Again, you bringing in the mindfulness. I never ever thought that I would have to be mindful of what I put in my body. That's
It's
amazing.
so important.
Wow. I learned something. Alhamdulillah. Sabiha,
Alhamdulillah.
to wrap up, we're going to wrap up shortly. Anything you want to say to our listeners?
Mindful, be mindful. Really, just be mindful of what you're doing, what you're eating, and enjoy food. Don't let food be something that causes you stress or anxiety. Enjoy it. It's Allah's gift to us. It's Allah's tool that He's given to us to nourish ourselves in order for us to actually live good lives. So enjoy your food. Have a positive relationship with food. If you eat something that's generally not recommended, for example, it's high in fat or high in sugar, ask Allah for protection. Ask Allah, oh Allah, please grant me the good of it if there is any good in it. But if there isn't, keep whatever is supposed to harm me, keep it away from me. um, Write down your experiences in Ramadan, journal. Have some time to yourself, especially as moms, women at home, we're so busy with preparing
Mm,
iftar, sorting out kids, clearing up afterwards, and then you're so exhausted, and then you still go and read your Tarawih. But find 5 minutes where you do something just for yourself. Even if it's doing your lymphatic drainage
stretching.
massage for yourself, do it for yourself. Take 5 minutes just for you and enjoy your own company in that 5 minutes. It really is a game changer.
Subhanallah, Jazakallah so much for coming on board and sharing such amazing insight with us. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, until we chat again, which I definitely will. I'm
Jazakallah
going to be,
so much, Yasmin. It was really wonderful to be with you.
it's a pleasure. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, what I take from that was amazing. It's always be mindful and always have good intention, putting the good intention and mindfulness not only in your daily life, but in what we're eating. Wow, that's amazing. I think we're breaking for an ad now. And then when we get back, we're going to be chatting to Dimpo Letlala.